Hey everybody, welcome back to Library Says. My name is Jamie and today I am doing the end of the year book tag. So I saw this tag done by Kayla at Books and Lala. I'll link her video down below, as well as the original tag. That's down in the description box. Check both of those out. And let's get started. This is a very quick tag. There's not a lot of questions, but it seems like a lot of fun, so I'm gonna give it a go. All about books that I wanna read by the end of the year and how this year has been going reading-wise. A wild year for everyone, obviously. First question. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I'm actually cheating. I'm already cheating. First question. I started in December of last year, 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami. I made it about 200 pages in. It's like 800, 900 pages long, but I made it about 200 pages in and put it down and then haven't picked it back up. But it was one of my goals for 2020 was to finish that book. Here we are in November, still haven't done that, but I have every intention of finishing 1Q84 by the end of 2020. Keep me to that. Bully me if you have to, because I have just been putting it off and I was really enjoying it. I have absolutely no excuse. If you've read it, let me know what you thought in the comments, please. Second question. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So I have a couple different horror novels that I've been putting off, but I want to get to by the end of the year. Small Spaces is a middle grade horror that is really intriguing to me and I'm very interested to give it a go. It'll Just Be Us. And is a haunted house book, I think. There's also like a governess takes a posting at a creepy house where the mother has just died, a la Turn of the Screw book called The Nesting. All three of those are ones that I want to try and get to by the end of the year. I also am interested to read A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I really loved Uprooted, which is the only other book of hers I've read. This one has such an interesting premise about a student at a magical school, but the school eats some of the students, and it's a sort of dog-eat-dog scenario where a bunch of the students don't survive till graduation. It sounds really cool. The only hang-up I have is that I've seen a lot of people I trust and who have comparable reading tastes to mine giving it pretty lackluster reviews so far, which makes me nervous, but I'm still gonna give it a go. I have the audiobook, so I just have to do it. But it seems like the kind of book you'd read at the end of the year to me. Third question, is there a new release you're still waiting for? There are two that I am really eager to have released and to give a try. One in November, one in December. In November, on the 19th, Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline is coming out. I love Ready Player 1. It's one of my favorite books of all time, especially the audiobook narrated by Will Wheaton. Does it need a sequel? Could I possibly not read the sequel? No. Absolutely not. I might regret it, but I have got to read it, but I am very nervous. December 1st, a novella sequel to The Simple Wild and Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker comes out. I just love those books and I love those characters and that relationship, and I would just read a million books about them. So very excited, even though it's just a novella, which makes me sad. Fourth question. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Okay, so I picked ones that I haven't already talked about in previous questions. I'm very interested in giving The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton a shot. He wrote The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hugo, which I really enjoyed. Such an original concept. Never read anything like it. The Devil and the Dark Water similarly seems like it's a very unique thing that I haven't read before, but some of the reviews have been sort of like, but I'm still gonna try it, probably as an audiobook, but maybe the ebook, I'm not sure. We'll see. Fingers crossed. What else? Hood Feminism, I have on hold through my library on Libby, and I just really want to get to it before the end of the year. Third is Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown earlier this year, 5 stars, loved it. One of my favorite books of the year. And I own Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I bought them both together for my birthday this year, just knowing that I would love Dani Brown as much as I love Chloe Brown, and I still haven't gotten to it, and I have literally no excuse for that. Okay, question 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? The only one that came to mind for this for me that I haven't already read, but I think will be exactly my cup of tea, is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a fantasy retelling of Romeo and Juliet that takes place in a 1920s inspired Shanghai between 2 rival mob members. I just think that sounds so incredible. And when it was first announced like a year ago, I immediately added it to my to-read list and I'm just like very excited. And I actually have an e-arc of it from NetGalley. It hasn't come out yet. It comes out next week. We'll see if I get to it before its release date or not. But regardless, I will be reading it before the end of the year. And I hope I love it. All right, and the last question. Have you already started making reading plans for 2021? Yes. I organize all of my to-read books onto TBR shelves on Goodreads. So I know what's coming out each month. And when I get to its release date, then if I still really want to read it, it gets added to my active to read folder or shelf. And if I'm sort of like, then I'll just take it off of my TBR shelves. That's how I organize. I've actually done a video where I talk about this. I'll link it up above if you want to see kind of how I organize all of my to-read books and all my different shelves on Goodreads and my organization process. It is complicated a little bit, but it works so well for me and it guarantees I never miss books when they are coming out that I want to read. So I do have books already lined up for every month, just about in 2021, that at least the ones that already have release dates. And I'm excited. I also have my first 10 videos of 2021 planned. All kinds of plans happening in here. We'll see if it all happens. So that's it. That is the end of the year book tag. I'm going to tag 3 people to do this video also, and they are Sophie Snow, Black Girl Reading, and Ashley Reads. I'm going to link their channels down below. Go check them out if you haven't already. And that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.